You're doing great.
We're almost there.
Let's see what we have going on today. Now, because this week is a short week, today is a little bit lengthy. You have quite a few things to get done. Don't let it overwhelm you. Take it one by one. We're going to explain it all to you. You should have already completed your question of the day. You're watching your teacher video. Thank you for that. Go ahead, like and subscribe. We appreciate the love, for sure. Complete your writing journal. Whoops. We're going to read Fears and Phobias again. I hope that you're enjoying this article. We will complete our vocabulary questions today, and you're going to have something a little bit new. We've given you an article that kind of goes along with what we've been talking about this week, and you're going to read it and then answer some questions. So I think that you'll enjoy the topic of this article. That's called our Newsela article.
Read it very carefully.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
use it to answer the questions.
Definitely.
You can't just answer the questions without reading. You've got to read it carefully and use it to answer your questions.
You'll be continuing working on your informational text that you're writing. And then we have a video called Wired for Fear that goes along with what we've been reading this week, and you'll be watching that as well. So you see our objectives. We're trucking right along. We're going to hit some new, some of these today that we haven't talked about yet. And of course, our essential question: how do you find courage in the face of fear? I hope that you're learning more about this as we go on this week.
We have our journal for today. Make sure that you're writing at least 10 sentences, at least. And your prompt is, if you could have any superpower, what would it be and why? So don't just tell me, oh, I would have this superpower. Explain, why would you want that? How could that help you to be a superhero? And I can think of a lot of superpowers that I would want to have. And so it would be hard for me to pick just one, but I want you to pick one that you really think, ooh, I could write a lot about that.
You know, I think that if I could have a superpower, I would want to teleport. Because I spend a lot of time driving, and it feels like a waste to drive so much. So I wish I could just snap my fingers and be in another location. I think that'd be really cool.
If I had x-ray vision right now, I could look inside our box and see what's in there, and I wouldn't have to tell you that I already knew. I don't know. I think I would like to be able to be invisible. I think that's the superpower I would probably choose. But it's so hard. There's so many good ones. So I can't wait to see what you guys choose. I bet y'all are going to come up with some things that I haven't even thought of before.
Right.
There's a lot of good superpowers out there.
There are.
For sure.
And today we're going to look at prefixes, specifically prefixes that mean not. And prefixes are a prefix is a part of the word that appears at the beginning of the base word, and it creates a new word. So many prefixes that mean not come from Latin, and that's the language of ancient Rome. So a lot of languages are based in Latin roots or Greek roots, and we're going to talk about Latin right now. So one example appears in our vocabulary word this week. It's called immaturity. And so we have the I am and then maturity. So I am is our prefix, and that means not. And maturity, so we're not mature. Okay, we haven't gained our maturity yet. Other prefixes that mean not are in, mis, miss, non, non, and un. And so when you see those prefixes at the start of a word, they typically mean not. So if you get a comment on your writing journal that says misspelled word, that miss means not, and then spelled, so this is not spelled correctly. This is a word that's not spelled correctly.
Or like if your assignment was undone, would it be not done?
It's not done. And so when we tell you to unsubmit an assignment, we tell you to
take it back,
not submit it.
If a question is invalid, it's not valid. It's not a good question. I also thought of untangled. Your hair is not tangled.
Yeah.
And so many base or root words also come from Latin and Greek. And if you look at dem, D-E-M, that means people. And so we have a democracy, and that is a government of the people or by the people. And so a lot of our words stem from Latin or Greek roots, and we're going to spend some time this year diving into those and figuring out what they are.
I think of it like a puzzle. You see
Yes.
a word and it might have several prefixes and suffixes, and I like to get in there and figure out what all of those mean. Once you start learning them, it's really easy if you see an unknown word to kind of figure out what that word means.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like taking reading to that next level of reading detective.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you're actually taking those words and pulling them apart and figuring out the puzzle
Mhm.
pieces to help you become a better reader.
I
Yeah.
like that, reading detective.
So go ahead and lock these clues away. These prefixes that mean not, you're probably kind of familiar with these
Mhm.
already. So lock those away and we'll keep giving you more clues as the year goes on.
Yes.
So today, like I said before, you're gonna read fears and phobias again. And don't think to yourself, well, I've already read it, I don't have to do it again. You do, because I want you to really spend some time thinking today about what you can learn from this story. Jot down some notes on a piece of notebook paper or tuck them away in your head. What are you learning as you're reading this story? And remember, you're going to have an assessment tomorrow on this story. So you want to be really familiar with it so that when you're going back to your questions, it's not going to be difficult to go back and find the answers. You've read it so many times that you'll be able to find those answers quickly.
And if you
Yes.
have questions, you can email us your questions and we can help you with that so that Friday you're ready for that assessment.
Right, if there's
And
something you don't understand.
I know that as a reader, the first time I read something,
Miss Cook to the front office, please. Miss Cook to the front office.
I typically read it the first time pretty fast because I want to see what happens and I'm getting from the beginning to the end. I'm going to be honest, I don't put a lot of thinking in it, I'm just reading it. The second time, I'm actually slowing down to read and get information. And then the third and fourth times, I can really start to dive deep into what I'm reading. So if I'm an adult and a teacher, and that's what I do when I'm reading articles, then I would think that you would want to do that too. And the first time, I get it. We read it fast to see what it's about. But it's important to keep reading that over and over so that you can get information from it.
And you know, I do the same thing with movies.
Mm-hmm.
Me
This
too.
isn't just specific to reading. It's a really good
Yep.
life skill. You know, the first time I watch a movie, I just want to know what happens. And then after I watch it over and over, I see things that I didn't notice before. I start
Mhm.
making connections. And we do the same thing with reading. It's just a way for us to really make those connections in our brain.
And even, I mean, you can make connections the 50th time and you can still make a connection in a movie or a book that you've never made before because that's how our human brain works and that's why it's so important to do things repetitively.
All right, guys, you know what? I think it's time for a
Pet break! This is my dog Jack. He is 2.5, and he gets in trouble a lot. Sit, Jack. Jack, sit. 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 Good boy, Jack. Say hello to everybody at school. Oh, you were supposed to sit. Sit. He does not like to be away from me. And so if I walk very far away, he comes straight at me because he just can't stand not being right by his mommy at all times. He's kind of a baby. He's definitely a mama's boy.
I hope you enjoyed that pet break. I just really enjoy sharing our pets with you guys. It's very fun. And keep watching. You never know what we're going to add into our videos. So today you're going to watch the Wired for Fear video. Like I said before, this is all about what we've been reading. It really dives into why our brain makes fear happen. What happens in our brain when we're afraid? I think that you'll really enjoy it. I found it interesting. It taught me some things I didn't know before. So watch that. You have your vocabulary practice questions. Remember, you can use your vocabulary study guide. I would suggest that you go through and try to answer all the questions by yourself first. That will help you know what you need to study, because the things that you have trouble with, you use your vocabulary study guide and then mark those to study later. To access your vocabulary study guide, it's real easy. You can go back to your vocabulary study guide assignment from Monday, or you can go through your Google Classroom your Google Drive and click on that classroom folder. So you have two ways to get to it. But use your vocabulary study guide. It's a resource that you have. After that, you're gonna read this fun Newsela article and answer the questions. Remember, read the article first. Use the article to answer your questions, okay? And then you have a really quick little research activity. It's short, but I think that you'll enjoy it. It's just a way to practice researching things. Later on in the year, we'll be writing some papers on things that we research. Researching is where you go to resources and find information about a certain topic that you don't know a lot about. So this week, your research activity, you'll be researching phobias for some different famous people. And a little tip, if you're researching a phobia of, say, William Shakespeare, be very specific in your Google search. Type in William Shakespeare phobia. That'll pop up real easy the things that you're looking for. So be specific in your search and see if you can learn some new little facts and tidbits, things that you might not have known before.
And then we're going to continue with our informational text that we've been writing. We're writing that 3 to 4 paragraph essay, and there's about 5 sentences per paragraph. So 10, 15 sentences is what we're looking for. And we're comparing and contrasting our fears and phobias. You started this yesterday, and you're going to continue working on that today.
And then, guys, we are getting very close to marking everything as done, but first, we need to make sure that we can put a check mark in every one of these boxes. So just go through this last slide, make sure that you've got a little check on each of those boxes and you've done everything you need to do. And when you've got all of those boxes all checked off, you're good. You're done for the day. We hope you have a great day, and we will see you here tomorrow.
We almost
almost forgot the box.
We always forget the box.
All right. So, do you want a clue, or do you just want me to show you?
Does it help you when it's raining outside?
Not at all.
Does it help you have a better memory?
Maybe.
Ooh.
I'm very interested.
It will
Right?
definitely. it will definitely help you have a better day. So I'll show you. This is one of my favorite books by one of my favorite
I was
authors.
gonna say, I recognize
If
that
you
author.
have never heard of Kate DiCamillo, she writes a lot of really great books, and this is her newest series. This is a series, okay?
Ooh.
So it's called Rainy Nightingale, and it's about a little girl, and she doesn't have the greatest life. She has a lot of struggles, and so I think that a lot of people will be able to relate to this. She's trying to come up with a plan to make her father interested in her life because he's gone off to have another family. So in this book, you'll meet some really interesting little girl characters, Ramy's friends, and they have books as well. So after you finish reading this, you can read Louisiana's Way Home, and then I can't remember the name of the other one, but it's really good as well.
That's awesome.
So, really great book. I would highly suggest it. If you have the Libby app, it's on there. All 3 of them are on there. And if you haven't checked out Kate DiCamillo, check her out as well. She's a great author.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, I'm excited to share this with you, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.